Hi, this is Andrew Zebrun III, reporting from the ReAwaken America Tour in San Antonio, Texas, with Clay Clarke, and General Flynn will be here later. I'm here with Nurse Dani, and we're seeing what Nurse Dani's up to here at Clay Clarke's event.
Yeah, so I've been a pediatric nurse of 16 years. Yes, in the medical field for 20 years. And 2 months ago, my hospital came down with the vax mandate. And the way I handled it is a little bit differently than most people handled it. I chose to walk away from that job and that career rather than succumbing to a ridiculous exemption process.
Wow, I really applaud that. I mean, that took place.
Yeah.
I used to be married to an RN, so I have to know a little bit about it.
You know, we got guts.
Yeah, I've heard the stories.
Yes.
I know what goes on in hospitals. So what do you plan to do now?
So right now, I'm really doing this, having these conversations and letting other people know that you have choice and there are options, and we may have to get a little uncomfortable and trust in God. But this is for such a time as this is what we're needing to be called to do, and so I'm just out here doing it until God shows me the next step.
That's really what I'm doing. That's great.
Yeah,
that's all we all should be doing right now. We're all called to stand up right now.
Right.
So that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm hoping people see this and stand up and say, "Let's go." Clay was on my show last week.
Oh, good. Wonderful. He's great.
I love him. I saw him speak a couple times over there.
Yeah.
And he's really something.
Yeah, lots of energy. For me, I take a different approach. There's a lot of people who get lost in the medical aspect of it, and there's value in that for sure, the details and the minutia of that. And then there's others that get sucked into the political side of it, and there's some value in that too, of course. But for me, I stay my eyes on God, and I'm first a citizen of heaven, and I walk in the authority of Christ. And because I have that connection and I surrendered my life to Jesus, I've been able to be brave. I know we tease that because I'm a nurse, I've got guts, but it really is glory to God. And once I did that, he showed me the next thing to do. And he showed me the next people to talk to, and to just give it a word of encouragement and speak truth in love. There's a lot of truth out there right now, and sometimes it's spoke in a way it's not received because we're not using love also. So that's just my approach, and that's my call to action for anyone listening too, is that you have a circle of influence where you are, and you need to stand up and do the next thing. We don't have to have the whole roadmap out in front of us, but we do just need to take that faithful first step and know that God has got it all under control.
That's what I've been doing. It takes a lot of guts, though, really, to do that. I know exactly what you went through. I did the same thing myself. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, I was just appointed manager of a newspaper up in Buffalo, the Niagara Gazette.
Really?
So I totally went into the news business, and I'm trying to drive fake news out of the game.
There you go. You go.
And my new boss is Frank Parlato, and he's the one that broke the next news story nationally.
Fantastic.
And that took a lot of guts.
That did. Yes.
You know, because it must not have been easy.
Right. But you know what? It gets easier. Mm-hmm. Doesn't it get easier?
It does. The more you stand up.
Right. And then we're not alone either. This is like 6,000 people here today. Mm-hmm. We're not alone in this. Yeah. So, and then there's power in numbers. So when we're standing together, and then we come together in that truth and walking in love, you know, miracles can happen. Mm-hmm. They will happen.
You know, I don't want to brag, but in 2012, I live in Buffalo area, and there was all kinds of children dying from lack of good medicine. They were getting seizures. And I knew there was an easy cure for that, cannabis. So I called the New York State Health Department. I made an appointment with the whole team. I went to Albany. I tried to meet with Roswell Park. Have you heard of them? Mm-hmm. Roswell Park Institute. They didn't have anyone with a spine that could meet with them. So I did go to Albany. I spoke to them for several hours. I laid out all the facts. they were amazed that a citizen showed up with facts.
Yeah.
They were totally amazed. So I'm not trying to get a medal or anything. I don't want any credit
Right.
for anything. But 2 years later, we got a medical cannabis law, and children in New York didn't have to go to Colorado or die
Right.
anymore
Wow.
for
That's
medicine.
really something.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if I had an effect because they didn't write me
You
a letter
do,
and
though.
say,
Yeah, you don't get to really know sometimes, right? But we trust in God that when we step out in faith and obedience to what He's called us to do, that maybe you planted the seed and somebody else watered it, and then later, look what happened.
mhm.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think it's amazing how if people stand up and things happen.
Right,
You know?
right. Take action where you can.
Mhm. That's the whole theme of this whole thing.
That's right.
Stand up and take action.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, we applaud you, no thank you, understanding.
Thank
I
you.
really do.
Thank you. And thank you for this time together.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks a lot.